Okay, so we're going to try and figure out which of these, when we plug them in, gives us 0. So take your calculator, okay, just regular screen right there. If you're on anything else, second mode, it'll take you to the clear screen. Okay, so square root of 15 over 5, something you need to be aware of. You must close the parentheses after the 15 before you put the divided by 5. We are going to store this as x. So to do that, you're going to press the button beside the number 1. It says STO with an arrow. When you click it, you should see a little arrow on your screen. And then you're going to put x. And you're going to press enter. Okay? Did everybody get this decimal on your calculator? Okay? No? Check your parentheses. What? It's beside the number 1. Okay, it's beside the number 1. Anybody need help getting there? Do we have this? Okay. So that is the decimal value of the square root of 15 divided by 5. We really don't care about that. We just need to plug it in. So now that we've stored that as x, we are going to type in that original equation that was on the paper. And we are going to see, when we type this in with the x's and everything, so if you've ever tried to type in an equation thinking that your calculator is going to solve it for you, and it gives you a number and you think that's the answer, it's not the answer, okay? It's just plugged in some number that's been stored as x, it's plugged it in. That's all that it's done. It hasn't actually solved it for you, it's just plugging in whatever value's been stored as x. So when we press enter, we're hoping that it equals 0. And it does. So that means the square root of 15 over 5 is a solution. So we can eliminate any answer choices that do not have the square root of 15 over 5 in them, because it has to be an answer. It has to be an answer. Okay, so we're down to, it's either A or it's C. I square root of 6, I square root of 5. We don't need to worry about plugging in the negative. If the positive one worked, the negative one's going to work. Okay. So then we go to the next answer choice. I square root of 6. Let's try that. The I is second decimal. Second decimal, square root of 6. Store it as x. It will overwrite what you previously had stored as x. Press enter again. It's going to give you the decimal version. That's the square root of 6 with an I on the end. Okay, now you can certainly type in 5x to the 4th plus 27x squared minus 18 again, or you can press second enter. It scrolls through what you had previously entered into the calculator, so you don't have to type all that stuff in again. Press enter. Okay, now it didn't give us 0. However, this is the calculator's way of denoting scientific notation. That is the same as 2 times 10 to the negative 11. Now, if you remember anything about scientific notation, that means that you're going to move that decimal 11 places to the left. I don't think I've gone 11, but you get the point. And you're going to put a bunch of zeros here. That's a super, super, super tiny number. For whatever reason, the way that the calculator computes some of these things, sometimes it's not going to give you exactly 0. But really, that number is essentially 0. Now, if you're in doubt, check the other answer choice. The other answer choice said I square root of 5. Check I square root 5. Store that as x. Plug it into the original equation. That definitely doesn't give us 0. Negative 28 is definitely not 0. So we know it can't be C. It has to be A. Even though when we plugged in I square root of 6, it didn't give us exactly 0. It's just the calculator's weird way of calculating things. Okay. So those are the 4 solutions. Notice they're separated by commas. Those are the 1, 2, 3, 4 solutions. 4th degree, 4 solutions to that equation. Okay, let's look at number 2. Look at the answer choices on number 2. Do we need to plug in 0 to check 0 for number 2? No, why not? Shows up in all the answer choices. If it's in all of the answer choices, then duh, it has to be one of the solutions. You don't need to take the time to plug in 0. So let's go to the next solution. A and B both have positive 3, so let's try positive 3. Store 3 as x, plug it into the original equation. 5x to the 5th minus 39x cubed minus 54x. I want you to do this along with me so that hopefully you will remember. Okay? When we plug in 3, we get 0. So 3 has to be one of our solutions. Answer choice C does not have positive 3 as a solution. Answer choice D does not have positive 3 as a solution. So it's either got to be A or B. So either it's negative 3 or it's negative 4. I don't know. Let's check negative 4. When we get negative 4, we get negative 2,408. That's definitely not 0. Now, I always check and double check and make sure that I typed in the equation correctly, just to make sure, especially if I get a number that big. I'm not really expecting that. So we've eliminated all the answer choices. It probably has to be A. If you are just somebody who really has to check, then yeah, sure, plug in those other answer choices. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you've eliminated other possibilities, then it's pretty safe to say that that's your answer. Okay? Let's look at number 3. Okay? Number 3, similar situation. 0 shows up in all the answer choices. We do not need to check 0. Don't waste your time. Now, you've got to be careful when you check these, okay, because they have numerators. When there are numerators like this, you've got to put parentheses around the entire numerator. 1 plus 3i square root 3. Now, that parenthesis was for my square root. I got to put another parenthesis to close the entire numerator. Then divided by 2. Okay, that is that entire first answer choice right there. 1 plus 3i square root of 3 over 2. Store it as x. Okay, that's the decimal version of that answer choice. We're plugging in x cubed, whoops, minus x squared plus 7x. Okay, another example. It's not 0, but look, it's got the e and the negative 12. That's essentially 0. Okay, that's essentially 0. So A is the correct answer here. Okay. I don't need to check anything else because none of my other answer choices have that same solution to it. And then the only difference between what I just plugged in and the one that's left is there's a minus in there. Again, if the positive works, then the exact same expression with a minus is going to work. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do number 4. Look at number 4's answer choices. All of them have the plus or minus I square root of 3. So it comes down to which of these works. So let's try 3/4. 3 over 4, store it as x. 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 12x minus 9. Looky there, we got really lucky. A is the one that worked. None of the other answer choices have 3/4, so it's got to be A. Now, I'm going to do something to number 4, and I want you to either write this to the side or somewhere on your paper. Okay, I'm going to move some things in the equation of number 4. I'm going to keep the 4x cubed plus 12x. They're on the left side of the equals. The 3x squared and the 9 were negative, so I'm going to add them to the other side. So This is the exact same equation. Okay, that is the exact same equation as what was written on the paper. Just what's written on the paper is equal to 0. This has all of the coefficients being positive. Okay, we've got stuff on both sides. I'm doing this because the worksheet generator would only let me do equations equal to 0. We're going to do some more practice later that has things on both sides. So if there are terms on both sides, you've got a choice. You can either make it equal to 0. You can subtract the 3x squared, subtract the 9, so that it's equal to 0, and do what we were just doing. Or you can plug the number into both sides of the equation. So I have 3/4 stored as x. I'm going to plug it into the left side. I didn't get 0, but I'm not supposed to get 0 here. I'm supposed to get whatever 3x squared plus 9 is equal to. As long as the left side equals the right side, we get the same number, then 3/4, that's what I have stored as x, 3/4 is the solution to that equation. Okay? So nothing really changes. It's just if you have stuff on both sides, you got to plug it into both sides of the equation and see which solutions make the left side equal the right side. That's what we're doing here. Just every single time the right side is 0. Okay?